Oh, Steve and Larson! Don't you dare be sour. Clap for yourselves and feel the power. Yes. And all you people out there, you're watching Going In Raw with Steve and Larson.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast that you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found, and of course, taped live at the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. Tomorrow, we've got Sacrifice. That's right. You, me, the Enforcer. We're going to be watching Impact Sacrifice, which, does that cost money on Impact Plus, or you just go to Impact Plus and it's there?
I think it's the latter.
I think you just go to Impact Plus and there. We can't co-stream it like our usual Tuesdays. That's not cool. Well, it wouldn't be cool for us to do that. Plus, we'd probably get our channel banned.
We would.
But we'll have the link for you, and you know, we'll let you guys know where we are. We're just gonna watch it. We're gonna kick back, talk some shit like we usually do on Tuesdays. And the Trios title and the Impact title are going to be up on the line. Our predictions for Sacrifice are available in today's news brief. And the Enforcer himself has his own predictions as well. Mm-hmm. Man, that dude he's gunning for it, man. If he wins, he's going to win big.
Like I said, man, when you're trying to get one of those belts, you got to take some risks sometimes. You got to make some educated risks, and that's what he's doing.
Absolutely.
Manic picks.
Manic picks. Yeah, he's all about the manic pick.
Anyways, there was a Smackdown tonight, kind of the second week in a row. That was all right.
I mentioned this to you, man. I mentioned that I feel like we've talked about this before.
Talking about the winds of change.
It's the winds of change. Raw's getting better, which means SmackDown has to get worse. I don't know why that is.
If one improves, the other must suffer.
That's just how it works.
Reason.
That's just how it works. Raw's getting better. SmackDown is starting to stink a little bit. And this is sort of the second week we saw this. I thought there was one really bright spot. It was Big E's promo.
Yeah, that was really good.
I thought the end was good, too. I thought the contract signing was good, too.
Yeah, that was good. But on Raw, they have such a strong, interesting story they're doing right now with Lashley winning the title. And as money as Edge and Roman should be on paper, it just isn't. I don't feel like it's clicking. I just don't feel like it's clicking. Like, I don't feel like there's tension. There's any heat. Like, I feel like a program with Daniel Bryan and Edge would have more heat at this juncture than Edge and Roman. I just, like, even remember when Edge won the Rumble, he went to every show. Like that segment he had with Drew. Good. Felt like there was heat there. There was tension there. I felt like that had potential to really lead somewhere. Even his bit on NXT where he's talking to Balor, he had that little interaction with Cross. That felt good. But the first time he stepped in the ring across from Roman, it felt like he was just instantly belittling Roman.
Yeah.
Like he just didn't take him. He didn't take him seriously. And at that point, I'm like, all right, well, if that's the way it's going to be, I don't really feel like. I don't know. It doesn't feel like there's been a whole lot of heat to this feud.
Yeah. So like when he showed up on Raw, he had an intensity to him. And it was a pretty compelling promo that he delivered, you know? He was like, hey, man, I don't know if it's going to be me, but you're walking around here willy-nilly. You got a big target on your back, and you're not acting like it. You should have Claymore'd me by now. He was really trying to, like, impart some, given that he is the former Ultimate Opportunist, he's trying to impart some wisdom on Drew, and Drew is like, hey, dude, I'm the champion. You don't tell me advice. And so, but there was a great dynamic there. When he showed up on NXT, you know, it was a little bit less, but still, you know, there was a personal aspect of it where it's like, you know, I used to watch NXT when I couldn't wrestle, and it you know, lit the fire for me to want to return. That's something there to want to be a part of that. Yeah. That I could, you know, you could sink your teeth into. Yeah. Yeah. You're right, though, that the initial promo between Edge and Roman, I mean, we talked about it on a recap. We were unimpressed with it. I dropped something. We were unimpressed with it. And it felt so felt really scripted. It felt really forced, and it didn't really feel like it had much direction. There was no intensity to it. You need to bring a certain something to Roman because he does a very specific thing, and I just feel like Edge has been sort of generic babyface in this, and kind of, you know, just the way of the way they've written this, injecting Daniel Bryan into it in such a mass. Like there shouldn't have been a Daniel Bryan in between Kevin Owens and WrestleMania. You know, for Roman, it should have just been Kevin Owens and Edge. And then we're just doing Edge now. They, you know, maybe they should have done some sort of tag match. I don't know.
I know.
But I don't know why they're putting Daniel Bryan in here, because right now I just wanted to be Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns or Daniel Bryan versus Edge, like you mentioned.
Well, there's one reason they could be putting Daniel Bryan into it now, because they're going to make it a triple threat at Mania, so neither Edge nor Roman have to eat a pin.
Is that the most because so now at this point, my idea that Bayley could be inserted into that Sasha Bianca matches,
not happening.
That's firmly a one-on-one, and it should be. It absolutely should be.
Yeah, it totally should be.
I think you could have done it that way, but you would have had to lay the groundwork back at the Rumble. So that's firmly a one-on-one. Over there on Raw, you've got what seems to be a one-on-one with Lashley and Drew, but Sheamus is doing such good work, and you might need somebody to take the pin, but I don't know if, I feel like that's probably clearly more a one-on-one with Drew and Bobby, and then they'll just have to figure out however they're going to do that finish. With this, dude, Daniel Bryan is like doing great work tonight. He was on fire with the promos.
He is like the spark in this whole thing right now.
He is, yeah, he's the one bringing the heat to it. He really is. Like, I believed him getting under Roman's skin in the contract signing far more. Edge feels like a bystander. Edge feels like Roman that year that Dean felt like the guy against Triple H.
5 years ago. That was 5 years ago.
Wow. That was a long time ago.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, SmackDown, I don't know. There just seems to be a lot of spinning of the wheels in the meat of SmackDown.
Yeah, that could be a byproduct of there being largely an unnecessary pay-per-view. You can make the case between Rumble and Mania, you know? You win the Rumble, you build to Mania, and yeah, maybe you have one pay-per-view in between to, you know, for the other brand to find number one contender for that championship, so on and so forth. But to have these two pay-per-views between Rumble and Mania, you just have, I don't know, it just feels like there's just so much spinning of the wheels.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, and because you look at, for example, number one, there is no decent. Who has Hurt Business have the tag titles, but the tag title scene on Raw is not really great anyways. You got the New Day and you got Hurt Business, and anybody else?
Lucha House Party.
That's right. Over on SmackDown, you've got 4 tag teams in this thing. One is a father and son. You got Street Profits, who are probably going to win those off of the Dirty Dogs. And then you got Alpha Academy, who's actually a pretty decent tag team. They're actually doing some fun stuff.
With Jimmy Uso is cleared to return. You got the Usos.
Chances are you've got a pretty decent tag team there too. Yeah. But like just that, you know, that whatever this story is they have, where the Street Profits, for whatever reason, like they never really picked up the thread with Sonya Deville saying, this is what you need to do to solidify yourselves as the new it's just like, oh, well, if they keep on this momentum, they should be tag contenders. Well, they should have been tag contenders this whole time because they beat everybody. So yeah, I mean, the Big E Apollo stuff was good. Sami Zayn's always really good. I'm kind of curious. I mean, today they sort of set up Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. I mean, I hope it's going to be a Mania match, but there are only so many spots you can have for Mania matches. I mean, they want to have like 1 trillion people there, so we might be looking at 2 really long shows. I don't think they're going to be 8-hour shows. It could be 2 5-hour shows. Could be 2 5-hour shows. It could be 2 5-hour shows.
That's a lot. With
people in attendance. I agree.
Maybe they feel the need to give people live their money's worth, and they're dishing out $2,000 for ringside seats.
Well, I mean, when you say 4, do you mean including kickoff?
No. Main card.
I mean, you can have 2 matches in the kickoff as well, you know? I don't know. I mean, they seem to be setting up a bunch of stuff. But I mean, like, I honestly don't care about the tag division on SmackDown. They haven't really done anything with the Dirty Dogs.
Well, it's such an arbitrary thing where apparently the Street Profits, they have to earn their rematch.
Yeah.
Miz is handed one on Raw after getting annihilated by Lashley the previous week. Like, why does Murphy get a rematch against Cesaro this week? Why? Cesaro won.
Yeah, again, that's a perfect example of the spinning of wheels. Last week, Seth was out there at commentary, I think, right? Why is it he didn't attack Cesaro when Cesaro put Murphy in the swing? Because Cesaro was clearly, Rollins is out there. He's like, hey, remember when I did this to you? They keep on referencing it. Instead, they have a rematch, and then it happens. Yeah. Why are you doing a rematch when you can further your story along?
I know.
And that's what needs to happen.
I know.
I mean, you had sort of, was there, I sort of missed right before this match, the Sasha, Bianca, Tamina, Natalya thing. Were there any stakes with this? Because remember, Tamina and Natalya were like, hey, we should be in the match, or we should have a tag title shot.
No,
match.
No stakes. There's no stakes. There should have been stakes. It should have been if, these two teams have this match and whoever wins gets the title shot at
or if Tamina and Natalya win, they get into that match, you know?
And I didn't like Bianca taking a loss there.
Yeah, I wasn't huge on that. It was a roll-up. That was a bad idea.
Yep.
That's not good.
Nope.
So anyways, let's just hop into it. I mean, it's not all bad. It's just you can feel it, and you can feel SmackDown starting to spin its wheels. And maybe, and I know I'm probably, this is not the most popular opinion, but Braun and Shane really popped me on Raw. I like that shit. Braun. And when I see that, I see Bob Lashley doing good stuff. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I'm like, oh, man.
You see Drew and Sheamus beating the hell out of each other for 20 minutes.
Dude, who doesn't want to see that? That's great. And who knows where that's going to go? I kind of want to know now.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, maybe now I'm going to be the interim SmackDown going in Raw guy.
Maybe.
If I can pony up some dough, I'll get Queen of the Ring Alex in here. Maybe she'll take over. Anyways, I don't know. It's all stuff to be determined. It opened up, SmackDown did, with Edge. He said, you think you know me. He says, big contract signing night, dummies. But I need to address things. Everybody, he's so fun. It's like my new favorite impression to do. He said, Roman, you said a man like me shouldn't face a man like you. Call me a family man, say I got kids, whatever lame excuse you have. It's amusing to me. You and Paul are great spin doctors. For weeks, you said, acknowledge me, head of the table guy. So I made the choice. I chose you. I choose you. Then you turn around and went down Daniel Bryan Boulevard. You got played. And then, Daniel, you said you deserved to be in the main event more than I did because you wrestle a lot. While you were wrestling once a week, I was here wrestling sometimes 7 times a week against legends. And he names a bunch of names.
Edge, guess what? What have you done for me lately?
Exactly. He says this is over 4 decades.
This isn't WrestleMania 27. It's 37.
Right, exactly. He says, and I'm back here because I love this, not because I have to be. He's got that Vikings money, dude. He doesn't need this. Yeah.
He's on that other show. What was that other show he was on? Haven? That was on Sci-Fi?
Yeah, Haven.
He was on that one.
Yeah, dude.
So anyways, Daniel Bryan comes to the ring. He says, oh, Edge, it was you that got sucked in. You got affected by what I had to say to you, but that wasn't even my intention. And you say, hey, Edge, as the ultimate opportunist, I thought you would have respect for me going into business for myself. Yeah, he says, don't get it wrong. I have an infinite amount of respect for all that you've done in your career. I've seen how much you worked, how much you fought to come back. But he wants to be honest. Daniel Bryan says, when I wanted to challenge Roman for the title, it wasn't about Edge. He tells the story again about laying on the mat at Chamber after he got destroyed by Roman after going through the Chamber match and watched Edge point at the Mania sign. And Daniel Bryan says he got demoralized because he allowed himself to go into maybe his last WrestleMania on the back burner. He's not going to take it. If this is his last one, he can do everything he can to be in the main event. He said, Edge, you have your spot at WrestleMania, so it's not about you. If I want to get to the main event, I have to go into Fastlane. I have to beat Roman. I have to win the Universal Championship, and that is why I went into business for myself. I like how he, took the phrase that's very particular about wrestling, about going into business for yourself, and kind of twisted around to make it apply to him his character's personal level. Like
Well,
rather that, you know, like saying I'm going in business, I'm looking out for me for once.
Yeah.
You know,
I wish he would have thrown in his face, I'm only doing what classic Edge would have done. Why would you criticize anybody for grabbing the brass ring?
Especially, you know, the first time he got in Drew's face. He's like, why are you so comfy?
Yeah.
You're resting on your laurels, man. You got a target on your back. Act like it.
Yeah.
And then Daniel Bryan is trying to step up and you know, better himself. And
Make up
like,
your mind.
Meh.
Am I just supposed to like sit here and be cool? If I have an opportunity, I'm going to take it. So Edge says, maybe I need to make myself clear. Roman beat you. I understand the circumstances, but he beat you. I won the Rumble. I lasted a long time. 29 other guys. He says, I like you. I don't like how you did this. You're better than this, but you're not better than me. You're better than this. That's the most condescending attitude. Oh, that's horrible, Edge.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought I knew you.
First match of the night, Street Profits and the Mysterio family, Ray and Dominic, teaming to take on Chad Gable, Otis, Alpha Academy, and Bob Roode, Dolph Ziggler, Dirty Dawgs. This is a fun match. As the faces are making their way down the ring, the heels lay them out. Stand tall in the ring as go to commercial. Early on, Dominic is isolated. He eventually hits Bob Roode with the tornado DDT. Dolph and Dawkins are in. Dawkins goes on a run until he runs into a back elbow from Dolph. Eventually, so he hits him with a spine buster. Ford gets the tag. He goes up top. So Gable gets on the apron, distracts the ref. And Bob Roode goes over and pushes Ford off the rope. He tumbles to the floor. We go to commercial. We come back. Ford is now the one being isolated by the heel team. Eventually, he dodges a corner splash from Otis. Gable gets the tag in. He goes for a German suplex. Ford flips out of that and then leaps over Gable to get the tag to Ray. Ray goes on a run. Eventually, he and Dominic hit double 619s on Bob Roode, and then they take to the air to take out Otis and Gable ringside. Ford, he hits the frog splash on Bob Roode to get the win.
Yeah. No, like you said, fun stuff. I want to see more.
The finish was great. The finish was a lot of fun.
The finish was fantastic. It was a really fun finish. I want to see more heel Otis. I feel like we've only scratched the surface of bad Otis. By the way, great shirt. Look at that. Have you worn that on air?
I got these. I got this and I got the Ultimate Larson one. And then I put them in our laundry pile to get washed. And so when did we put them on sale? When was that? Was that for Rumble? Yeah, it was Rumble. So 3 weeks after the Rumble, they showed up. And then I hadn't seen it until 2 days ago.
Oh, wow. That was weird.
They're just in the bottom of our laundry pile. We were way behind.
I lost my Caljack shirt. It's like my favorite shirt, my Caljack shirt. I lost that shirt. You know where I didn't know where it was. I went. I had to wear a shirt for the stream tonight, and so I opened up.
You didn't have to.
Terms of service violation.
Well, you mean as long as you cover up the nipples, you're fine.
Well, if I put some tape on the nipples, is that what you're talking about?
Well, I mean, you could wear your plaid shirt.
Yeah. Oh,
just like that, open.
This? Beef right here.
Fine. Yeah.
The people be distracted by the beef, bro.
No.
I can't be distracting people out there. You know, it's like we got 3% ladies in our audience, according to YouTube.
Yeah.
Maybe some dudes too. All into they're not listening. I want them to listen to my words, man.
Oh, all right.
They need to be distracted by.
Anyways, carrying your story. I mean, just consider it at the time. Maybe another time. Maybe we can do a 24-hour stream.
Yeah, dude.
Just consider it.
Yeah.
Anyways, carry on.
Hey, look, man, Tubin. Why did they fire that guy? Anyways, so you lost my train of thought. I was thinking of my manliness. No, I was looking for my fucking Caljack shirt. And so I go and I wasn't looking. I stopped looking for it because I don't know where it was. Looked in my drawer and it was in there, but I hadn't seen it in there before. So one of these people in this house was probably wearing it and then was like, oh, this is Steve's shirt. It's probably Summer, my stepkid. She always steals my shit. And so she probably was like, oh man, my freaking stepdad keeps yelling at me about taking his stuff. So she probably put it back in there because it was like not even clean. It smells like some other person. It's weird, dude. I don't know. Somebody's rolling up my house. Anyways, dude.
Speaking of clothes, Seth Rollins got some sweet clothes on tonight.
Man,
that green plaid suit with the turtleneck.
That was great.
I'm not usually one for turtlenecks, but man, that was a winning combo there. So Kayla throws. Oh, do you have anything more to add about the tag match?
No, I just want to see more heel Otis.
Yeah.
I just want to see, because right now we've only got like a little bit of heel Otis. He's like, oh, a little bit more. Oh, yeah. But I need him to be a bit, I want to see some bad guy Otis.
Need more edge. More edge,
yeah.
too. Not you know me edge, but edge. So Kayla throws the video of 2 weeks ago when Cesaro was swinging him, Seth, and Seth gets upset. He's like, why are we still watching this? Why are we still talking about it? What everyone forgets is I was out there trying to help Cesaro. He's been successful, not as much as me. And what does he get? What do I get in return for trying to help him? Embarrassed and disrespected. I said, I'm done with Cesaro. He's the biggest waste of potential in WWE. And Kayla mentions that Cesaro and Murphy have a rematch of their match last week tonight. And Seth goes, rematch.
Yeah.
Now that Seth has taken kind of the template of what he's doing on Raw, but making it a comedic heel, I'm all about it now.
Yeah,
I'm all super serious about it. It was boring.
Yeah, I agree. I'm all about it. I just want them to like move the story,
totally.
Keep going with it.
Totally.
So after that, backstage, Kevin Owens is prepping for the KO show. By the way, and then I don't know if you mentioned this. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Whoa, where am I? I am way back here. Okay,
2 segments.
Way far. Okay, so yeah, we're at Nia and Shayna.
It's the shopping spree.
Take Reginald to a men's boutique. Shayna has no desire to be there, so she's on her phone the whole time. I'm not going to go over this, in detail, but basically Nia treats him to some suits. She's really excited about his suits. And then, the last one, it's a nice little gold affair. He sits in her lap and she's like, oh, you're great. And he's like, what can I ever do to repay you? And then she has like a smile on her face. So it's probably something to do with like Sasha, but, obviously you also think like, sexual favors. After that, we had Cesaro versus Murphy.
Perfect.
There's a great bit. Cesaro hits a super. I always love when Cesaro shows off just how strong he is.
Well, we should mention that Seth, before the match started, came out and sat on the stage to take in the match. That
comes into play towards the finish here. Cesaro hits a superplex from the apron, which is really
that
cool.
Was great. Deadlift.
And then he does the thing that triggers Rollins, the spin. He spins Murphy. Rollins gets mad. He attacks Cesaro. He hits a stomp on him. And then he puts a chair on Cesaro's head. He goes to do a stomp for that, and then he's held back by several refs and one half of his own J&J security, Jamie Noble.
Jamie Noble. I like that Seth just he like the swing just upsets him so much.
I know, that's great. That's awesome.
It's a nice touch. It's a nice touch.
Because I love how like in the interview, it's always got to be Kayla. Kayla's the one who like sticks it to people. She used to stick it to Jey Uso all the time. She does this from time to time. She's like, hey, let's take a look at this really embarrassing footage now.
Yes. So Seth walks up the ramp, and as he walks through Gorilla, he gets up in Nakamura's face. They have a stare down. He walks away. Then we get Kevin Owens backstage. Sami Zayn and his documentary crew roll up to him. Says, I've been looking for you. He says, KO, Owens, more than anybody else, you've known for years that WWE has been conspiring against me. I want you in my documentary. Kevin Owens says, well, that's great, but I got this Kevin Owens show tonight. And Sami's like, hey, you're doing that thing where you try to blow me off. We're going to blow the whole lid off this thing. We're going to do huge numbers on YouTube. I'm talking Logan Paul numbers. What do you say? And Kevin Owens is like, all right, I'll think about it. Yeah. He just wants to get out of there.
Yep. Let's see here. Tonight, and then we had Edge trying to sort of reason with Jay backstage. He's like, hey, dude, like, what happened to you? And then Jay, you can tell that like Edge is sort of cutting deep, but he puts up that facade again, and he's like, hey, man, you know what? You just need to worry about Roman. You need to back out of this because Roman's going to end you. But it was a really good performance from Jay, I thought.
Yeah.
Totally. After that, we had the Kevin Owens show. He sort of addresses where he stands as a human, I guess, after all the Roman stuff. And he said, basically, I'm just going to keep on keeping on. Going to keep on trying to make better films. And he's going to rocking and rolling. Yeah, he's going to keep on fighting. But tonight is about his two guests, Sasha and Bianca. A lot of talking here at the start. He said, you two are going to make history at Mania when you wrestle each other for that title. But at Fastlane, You can win the tag titles and walk into Mania as the women's tag champs as well.
I like the little fact he dropped here that the only time two competitors were tag champs and faced each other for a title, John Cena and Shawn Michaels.
That is true. And he said, of course, that means you could cement your legacy as one of the all-time greats if you do that. He says, but to do that, you got to beat Nia and Shayna at Fastlane, which you couldn't do before. He says, I think there might be some underlying tension. You're out here to prove that you're the best of the best. Maybe, there's tension between you two because of Sasha and Reginald and what's going on there. And Sasha's like, whoa, hold on a second. I can't help. She's really healing up. I really can't help that I look this good. And then I got dudes drooling all over me. And Bianca's like, dude, he's becoming a problem for you and our match coming up at Fastlane. So they job back and forth. Sasha heals it up a bit. Nia and Shayna interrupt. All they really do is sit down for commentary as we go to Tamina and Natalya versus Sasha and Bianca.
Yeah. So Natalya and Tamina, they have the upper hand. Sasha's isolated. Natalya looks for a sharpshooter. Sasha kicks her off, gets the tag to Bianca. She goes on a bit of a run, hits a spine buster, and then Nia tells Reginald to get on the apron so the ref can't count the pinfall. Natalya then drops Bianca with a clothesline. Reginald stands on the announce table. Sasha goes from her corner around to meet up on the announce table. He runs away, runs into the ring. Sasha follows. Natalya drops Sasha with a forearm. Bianca then forearms Natalya out of the ring. Tamina then rolls up Bianca to get the win. So then afterwards, Bianca, she's upset. She gets in Sasha's face. She says to Sasha, I don't lose. Mm-hmm. Why are you entertaining him still?
Mm-hmm.
He's following you around. That's on you. And she says, I'm done with this. Meanwhile, Nia and Shayna, they join Natalya and Tamina in the ring, and then Reginald blows a kiss to Sasha.
Bianca and Sasha are both really good in their interactions because then you go backstage and they're still sort of going at it. They have a really good chemistry together. They bicker some more. Sasha ends it by calling Bianca a rookie, and that just sort of leaves Bianca speechless. She's like, after that, Big E returns. I loved this. The promo was great. It's what we want from Big E. It's part of his, hey, we got to serious him up a little bit. He becomes serious when the time arises. I kind of feel like when he came out with all the crutch and all that stuff, and then he sort of takes it off as he's coming down, I kind of feel like that was not a necessary gag.
Well, maybe it's a thing where in the past, that's something the New Day would have done have come down to the ring, kind of poking fun at the idea that they're hurt. Mm-hmm. And rather than go through that whole thing,
mm-hmm.
he just like, all right, I'm going to dispel you of this notion right now. There's not going to be any humor. There's not going to be any jokes about me being hurt. I'm just going to take this all off now. I'm going to go down the ring, and I mean business.
Yeah.
That's the only interpretation I could see there.
Could be a small quibble because his promo was great. He said, I laid up in a medical, he's addressing Apollo, of course. He says, as I laid up at a medical facility because of you. And the camera's going tight on him, and he's really serious, doing a hell of a job. Probably most serious I've ever seen him. He says, because of you, Apollo, and those steps, I had plenty of time to think. And I hope that you know what you did because you crossed the Rubicon. You opened Pandora's box. There's no coming back. There's no sorry for this. You can't fix this. You can't put the genie back in the bottle because you, Apollo, you made me go biblical. I got to go Old Testament on you now because it's an eye for an eye. You take one of mine and I take two of yours. You come to hurt me, I come to maim you. You take one step on my lawn and I bulldoze your house. Pinning you now isn't enough. Now I got to end you. You want what's mine, what I've worked for? Good, because now I'm ready to give it for you. Exactly what you deserve. We don't need to wait. Right here, right now, tonight. Bring your behind down to me and get this opportunity. And then he waits it out a little bit. Apollo doesn't show up. And he says, come on, you want this? Come get it now. Nothing happens. He says, I'm not surprised. If you're not going to get yours, fine. I'll extend an open challenge to whomever wants it. Come get it. Hey.
It's like, hey. Calm down. You're acting crazy. But if you're going to do a challenge for the Intercontinental title, well, I'm not dressed to fight, but I don't mind tearing up my $10,000 suit. And Sami comes storming out saying, I accept. And Baron's like,
this was great.
I was accepting.
He says, "Yeah, no, you took too long. I just accepted." This was great because it kayfabes a question that we've gotten a lot about open challenges. How exactly do they work? And according to Sami Zayn here, if you come out and you don't formally accept it, then it's still open.
Yeah.
And Sami just completely ran him down.
I think also too. So yeah, Baron says, "Well, I was going to," and then and Sami goes, "No, you weren't." Said, "This is the perfect ending to my documentary, getting the Intercontinental title that should be mine. You snooze, you lose." And Big E just says, "All right, whatever. Whoever gets in the ring first, they get the match." And the Sami just sprints into the ring.
So there's the other caveat: the guy issuing the open challenge can also dictate rules for the open challenge. We don't know this stuff because WWE's rule book is literally a sketch pad that is just an absolute mess.
It is. So Sami hits the ring. He talks a bunch of crap to Baron. Then Big E hits him with a belly to belly. Sami rolls out of the ring. Go to commercial. Come back.
And yeah, we got a Big E versus Sami Zayn. Sami gets in some offense. Big E largely dominates. Sami evades a splash on the apron as we go to commercial. In the end, Big E gets the win with a big ending.
Well, I like the ending sequence where Sami hits him with sunset flip powerbomb. That gets him a 2, and then Sami slaps Big E, and calls him a fraud, and just keeps slapping him and slapping him and slapping him. And he Irish whips him off the ropes, goes for a clothesline. Big E runs right through it, hits one of his own, then hits the big ending. To get the win, and immediately he's calling out Apollo. So Apollo's music hits, and then Big E's looking at the ramp. Nobody there, and he looks over by the timekeeper area where there is a path from the crowd, to easily get over there. He's waiting, and then instead Apollo comes from opposite hard cam, comes in, lays him out, hits him with an Olympic slam, yells at him to stand up, kind of picks him up, another Olympic slam, goes and gets the ring steps, tosses them in the ring, yells at Big E to stand up. Big E kind of gets to his feet, and Cruz just decks him with the ring steps. Big E tumbles to the floor, and then Cruz puts the ring steps in the middle of the ring and then stands on top of him.
Yeah, it was a good moment for Apollo there. This is a pretty decent feud here. I like it. So afterwards, Nia has an interview. Reginald's next to her, and he suggests that she should challenge Sasha for the women's title so that Nia can go into WrestleMania as double champion. And Nia's like, wow, what a great idea. It was a good little moment with Kayla. Or was it Kayla? Or was it?
Yeah, it was Kayla.
It was Kayla. She said, read the room, Kayla.
Yeah.
So 3's a crowd.
Yeah.
So after that, we had the contract signing. Of course, Adam Pearce moderating. Roman looks annoyed by pretty much everything, including when Daniel Bryan comes out. He gets on the corner post and he starts yesing. Then he gets irritated at Pierce for not pulling him a chair at the head of the table. Of course, even a small, sort of office conference table like that, he wants to be at the head of, even if he looks ridiculous doing it.
I know.
Roman gets on the mic. I'll do Roman's part. You could do Bryan's.
Fair enough.
Because Bryan's great in this. Roman says, you know what, Bryan? You did everything you were supposed to do. And a few weeks ago, I was feeling this, so I agreed to the match. This week, I'm not really feeling it. So, no. He just doesn't want to do it.
Says, I'm not signing. You don't deserve it. Daniel Bryan says, well, I'm excited about this. I'm going to sign it. So he signs it. He goes, who would have thought that Roman wasn't a man of his word? Who would have thought that Roman would be afraid to fight? And he says, I did something that you never did, Roman. I made Jey Uso quit. And Roman does this. That gets his attention. That gets his attention. He goes, I think you're afraid. Maybe Daniel Bryan should be the self-proclaimed head of the table. Maybe I should be the head of the island. He says something like those lines. He just goes on and on and on.
Talks about the family accepting him.
Oh, yeah. He says, I think Alpha and Sika would really like me.
I think they'd really like me.
And then Roman gets pissed. He calls for a pen. He gets the contract. He signs it. And Daniel says, I got a message, Roman. I'm going to
tap you out.
I'm going to tap you out just like Jey Uso. To Jey. And then Jey picks up the table and tosses it out of the ring. And says, enough with the disrespect. He tells Adam Pearce, this match needs a special enforcer, someone who makes sure the match is called fair and square, right down the middle. And that's me, Jey Uso.
Yeah.
And then you think you know me.
On this day.
Edge comes out. He says, oh, sounds like a great idea, but I'll do you one better. How about match next week, Edge and Jey Uso, winner of special enforcer at Fastlane. Pierce makes the match. Edge hits the ring. Brawl breaks out. Daniel Bryan sends Jey Uso out, and then goes over and steps in front of Edge so he can start hitting Roman. Edge pushes him out of the side, gets a couple more shots, tosses Roman out of the ring, and then Daniel Bryan hits Edge with the knee plus.
Yeah, I thought it was really strong stuff. I thought it was really good.
Everything's there to make this triple threat at Mania. I mean, it's all there. The ingredients are all there.
Does it feel less big if it's not if it's not one-on-one? Feels like a SmackDown main event.
I'll tell you what, though, it kind of felt less spectacular just based on how the feud's been progressing. Daniel Bryan's the one thing that's really injecting some spark into this thing.
He's brought it. I mean, do you think
whatever,
they said,
whatever
hey,
makes the match more exciting, I'm all for.
I think they said, hey, we need somebody to take the pin, and Daniel Bryan's like, yeah, dude, I'm all about that.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All right, you want to answer a few questions?
You think if fans were there, they'd lift him to a victory here at WrestleMania? Like they did back in that 30? Probably not.
Probably not. Big Easy Swag here on the Twitch says, I think a big issue, is Fastlane drag, putting a pay-per-view in between Chamber and Mania either forces dead-end feuds or spinning of wheels. 100% right.
Want to point out real quick, Jeffrey Nguyen gifted 5 subs. We'll read the subs when we go off the air a little bit later. Thank you very much, Jeffrey. We appreciate it. JTV08 says, question. Oh, this is for me. He says, being the king of pro wrestling impersonations, is he able to do that annoying Sasha laugh? No, but it is really annoying. It is really annoying. She sounds like Patrick from SpongeBob. SpongeBob.
The Spider Dan, would a triple threat at Mania make it easier for Roman to pin Bryan or Edge to pin Bryan? Still feel that can go either way. Yeah, if they want to protect both Roman and Edge, it makes all the sense.
Oh, we got a new patron, Dakota Miley. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Let's see here. Gary MacArthur says, the recaps are one of the most painful parts of WWE. He's not talking about our recaps. He's talking about the recaps they have in the show. What are some ways to have better recaps? He says, at the start of the show, do you do a previously on? I like the way NXT does them from time to time, where they have the theme music playing while they do like a recap package of everything that happened. And you don't really you don't need recaps unless you want to reference something very specific for a very short amount of time to get people up to speed. Oh, usually Apollo Crews is out here. This is what happened to Big E really quick last week.
Or usually they'll have like little recap video packages, but there'll be something new to go with it. They'll have new interview or promo footage to run along with it.
Yeah.
Captain Danes with the sub. Thank you very much.
Gregory Fiella, better promo, Big E tonight or Apollo 2 weeks ago?
Sorry, say again.
Better promo, Big E tonight or Apollo 2 weeks ago? I liked Apollo simply because it was career defining. I mean, Big E, this is great. It was an awesome promo, and it was a Big E that we haven't seen since the New Day started. But Apollo's was really personal, and I appreciated that aspect.
And I think for Apollo, that's the promo we've been waiting for him to deliver. Something that will set his career on a different path.
Yes. Yeah.
Willie Black 29, the day when Keith Lee, Ricochet, Aleister Black, and Andrade are sitting in the audience at the AEW show is going to feel just like when Eddie, Saturn, Chris, and Dean showed up at Raw.
Cameron Grimes, financial advisor. Is anyone else finding it hard to cheer for Edge? He's acting like the Rumble granted him the opportunity to challenge specifically Roman at Mania, not anyone else. Brian was right, Edge. Yeah. I'm kind of curious how the crowd would. I mean, I know it's still Edge, and the crowd's still going to be really into him, but yeah, I don't know.
I just find how they're approaching this just makes me fairly apathetic towards the whole thing. Like, I'm not invested in any way.
Yeah. I feel like it's sort of dragging Roman down, too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Snare Freak says, show the beef. But Zoe Kinrana says, Steven, put that beef away.
Yeah, dude. My beef is very divisive, I understand. Controversial. Him and Serrano. If Daniel Bryan would want to go back and use cattle mutilation but veganizing the maneuver. Could you come up with some vegan-approved name for the submission? Plant mutilation.
All right, I got nothing better.
Plant cultivation. Because you cultivate it.
Yeah,
Isn't that what you do?
Yeah. Dr. Lipkin, I want to heal to say I lost my train of thought. I was thinking of my manliness, just like Steve was earlier.
Yeah, dude. You know, that's what I'm talking about. Let's see here. This is a great question. Alex Foster. I think I know the answer. Which one of you is Sami and who is Baron? I feel like you're in your head a lot more than I am in my head.
Yeah.
I feel like you're Sami.
I feel like there's certain attributes, like if you combine us, like we're Sami, you know?
Oh, interesting. What attributes do you believe are me and Sami?
His energy level.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
His way with words. He's a good talker.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But the stuff about, being in one's head, being overly analytical.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
I think when you boil down their essences, I feel like you're a bit Sami Zayn and I'm a bit Baron Corbin. And I kind of feel like that's a bit complimentary. Like the Baron is like, he is like arrogant without much behind it. Like, I don't really know what he's arrogant about or why he feels that he could be. Because he just is. I kind of feel like I am that. It's like, Steve, what do you really bring to the table? I don't know, but I'm really full of it.
I know. All I can do is to set my manliness here. Huh?
Exactly.
I mean, why you look down at yourself? What is there not to be arrogant about, Steve?
Exactly. But then everybody else is like, no, I don't get it.
Hip Hop Hippo, I bet a whole Twitch sub this Kevin Owens Sami storyline results in the one-on-one WrestleMania match people have been wanting for years, and you can hold me to it. All right.
I'd like to think that, but like, here's the problem, is that WrestleMania is rarefied air. Didn't we just come up with like the other day, somebody was asking us, hey, or either somebody was asking us or we were figuring out with the WrestleVotes thing, like, which matches do we think are solid? We listed off like 10 matches.
No, I think you're getting that confused when we tried to make the takeover card.
We did the takeover card, but we also, when we talked about WrestleVotes, it was like, okay, let's sit down and write the matches.
I actually wrote them down here. All right.
Yeah,
what we have. There's 7 here.
For what? Oh, Raw. I'm sorry.
For Mania.
Mania, right? Yeah, okay.
Roman, Edge, Sasha, Bianca, Fiend, Orton, Asuka, Charlotte, Shane, Braun. What the heck does that say? I don't know what that says. New Day and Hurt Business. What does that say?
Now,
read my own handwriting.
It's a Drew. Or I'm sorry, Bobby Drew. Did you write that down?
That's not what this says.
Andre the Giant.
Looks like the first is D.
Drew P.
It's DR, but it looks like a U then.
Hurt Business. New Day.
No, I have that. That's under there.
Retribution. Riddle.
No.
Riddle.
No. So the first name looks like it starts with a D or P, and the second one's an R.
How many matches were there last year? There's got to be. It's going to be like
13.
13 there were last year?
13 or 14.
You think it'll go up to 20 this year?
No.
15. It's going to be longer than last year. It's going to be longer than last year. And there's not going to be any of those 40-minute Orton Edge matches.
No. I have no idea what this is.
I could see it getting up to 16.
Yeah, maybe.
8 per day. I could see
possible.
that.
It's entirely
and
possible.
We have 13 already?
What, we came up with 7.
Oh, we have 7. Okay, so there's plenty of time left. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Shane Braun, is Shane Braun on there?
Yes.
Okay.
I just don't know what this one says. I'm at a complete loss.
Can you send me a picture? Text it me. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, sure.
It's like peanut butter versus jelly. You start making up your own characters. Is it Rawgate Mutant? Is it on there?
Beef jerky versus Rawgate Mutant.
Let's see here.
See if you can make heads or tails of this, because I am confused.
It's very odd. All right, what we got going on? Oh, it's not here yet.
All right. It's the one in the middle, or the one second from the bottom. You can read New Day Hurt Business. It says New Day versus Hurt. But the one,
God.
The one above that, I have no idea what that says.
Let's see here. New Day versus Hurt. Wait, New Day versus Hurt.
It says New Day versus Hurt. It just says Hurt. I just wrote New Day versus Hurt. And the one above it, I have no idea what that says.
Okay. Oh, I see where it's Hurt. Okay. Shane versus Braun. Drodick versus Richelion.
That's what it looks like.
Who's Drodick versus Richelion?
I have no idea what that says.
What's going on here? You have Shane, Fiend versus Orton. Did you separate these Raw? So this is a Raw match. Because you separated them.
I didn't separate it by anything. The line here, there's a line here. The two above the line are the ones that have been 100% confirmed announced. And everything below the line, not.
Is it Retribution?
No.
Rude Dolph? Street Profits? Profits. It says Profits. It says Profits.
Rudolph. Profits versus Rudolph. That's what it is. We got it.
Drodick versus Rebellion.
There we go.
New Day versus the embodiment of hurt.
I got these Jeffrey New Win subs right here. I'm just name them off. Evo General, Chill Gaming Inc., L Sinister 6661, Mapri X, and the Mad Noid. Thank you, Jeffrey.
Thank you, Jeffrey, very much. We'll answer a couple more questions, then we'll call it a day on the show. Let's see here. What Moses opposes. Do you think the chances of a wrestler getting their asked release decreases when the fact they asked is leaked? If it's obvious that the wrestler took it public, yes. I think there might be some precedent for that with previous wrestlers who have asked their releases publicly.
Well, it's Luke Harper. He asked, and they put more time on his contract.
Okay, there you go. Then I knew it was either him or Bennett or somebody like that. So yeah, I think that if they know that, hey, these guys put it out there, or they just tweet out their request,
like Ty Dillinger did.
If it gets leaked, I mean, I have no idea how they're able to tell if somebody leaks something specifically. I don't know. I don't know
either. I don't know.
Anyways, one more question from the Twitch chat, Larson.
On that same idea, White Brownie with Andrade getting his request denied. Seemingly.
Denied.
What's the best logical way to book him, and which brand does he land on?
Him, Shinsuke, and Aleister Black start a faction. A really cool one with a really neat shirt and an awesome logo, and they wreck everybody, and they win a bunch of gold.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. That's what you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
push them. You get them some wins. You put them in interesting storylines.
Yeah, exactly. Yo Long Heavy says, bring back 2K gameplay with Drodick versus Rebellion. All right, we're going to do that. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Intern, Drodick versus Rebellion, please. Thank you for watching. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Help support Going In Raw today by becoming a Friendo Club TV member. You'll get access to new bonus episodes every week, including Friendo Club Arcade, Live Power Rank, Vintage 10 for the Wins, and Ask Steven Larson. Get access to Friendo Club TV today by becoming a $5 and up patron at patreon.com/Steven Larson, by throwing us a sub at twitch.tv/Steven Larson, or by clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson.